Everyone knows the Maldives. The name alone conjures images of white sand, turquoise water, over-water bungalows, and a particular kind of paradise that has become the global standard for what a tropical island destination should look like. And the Maldives is genuinely extraordinary, there is no question about that. But here is something that most travelers never discover. The world contains islands so beautiful, so remote, so completely extraordinary in their natural character, that they make even the Maldives look like a postcard rather than a place. Today, we are counting down 10 hidden islands that are more beautiful than the Maldives, islands that most people have never heard of, and that offer something the Maldives, for all its beauty, simply cannot. Number 10. Socotra Island, Yemen. Socotra is unlike any other place on Earth. We have mentioned it before in the context of its extraordinary dragon blood trees, but the island as a whole is one of the most otherworldly and most extraordinary natural environments available to any traveler willing to make the journey. Socotra sits in the Arabian Sea off the coast of Yemen, isolated from the mainland for so long, millions of years, that approximately a third of its plant life exists nowhere else on Earth. The landscape of Socotra does not look like a tropical island. It looks like another planet. The dragon blood trees, with their extraordinary umbrella-shaped canopies of brilliant green, stand in forests above beaches of white sand and turquoise water of extraordinary clarity. The Durhar Canyon cuts through the island's interior in formations of ancient rock of such extraordinary beauty and geological complexity that it bears almost no resemblance to anything in the ordinary natural world. And the beaches, particularly Kalancia Beach, a lagoon of such extraordinary turquoise color, protected by a sandbar and surrounded by mountains, that it consistently ranks among the most beautiful beaches in the world, are genuinely extraordinary in a way that no photograph has ever fully captured. Number 9. Palawan, Philippines. Palawan has been named the most beautiful island in the world by several major travel publications, and the designation is not difficult to understand when you see it for the first time. The island sits in the western Philippines, at the edge of the Sulu Sea, and it contains within its geography a variety of natural beauty so extraordinary that it seems almost impossible that it all exists in one place. The limestone karst formations that rise from the water around Palawan, some of them hundreds of feet tall, their bases carved into extraordinary shapes by centuries of wave action, their surfaces draped in hanging vegetation, create a seascape of such dramatic and unusual beauty that it has been compared to nothing so much as a landscape painting brought to life. The underground river, a navigable river that flows through a cave system of extraordinary scale and beauty, its roof hung with stalactites of every size and form, its walls reflecting the light of the guide's lantern in colors that seem to belong to a different world, is one of the most extraordinary natural environments in Southeast Asia, and one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites of the Philippines. The beaches of El Nido, long, white, surrounded by those dramatic limestone karst formations, offer swimming and snorkeling conditions of extraordinary quality, with coral reefs of remarkable health and diversity. And the Tubataha Reef Natural Park, accessible by live-aboard boat from Puerto Princesa, is considered by marine biologists to be one of the most pristine and most biologically extraordinary coral reef systems in the world. Number 8. São Tomé and Príncipe. São Tomé and Príncipe is an island nation in the Gulf of Guinea, off the west coast of Africa, and it is among the least visited countries on Earth, a fact that makes its extraordinary natural beauty all the more remarkable. The islands were uninhabited when Portuguese sailors discovered them in the 15th century, and they retain, in their interior forests and their coastal landscapes, a quality of untouched natural richness that is increasingly rare in the modern world. The rainforest that covers much of the interior of São Tomé Island is one of the most biologically diverse in Africa, home to endemic bird species found nowhere else on Earth, to plants of extraordinary variety, and to a canopy of such extraordinary density and richness that walking through it feels like entering a completely different world. The beaches of São Tomé and Príncipe are extraordinary and almost entirely uncrowded, wide stretches of dark volcanic sand lined with coconut palms, their waters warm and clear, with coral reefs of remarkable health and beauty just offshore. Praia Jail, on the southern tip of São Tomé Island, is a beach of such extraordinary and undisturbed natural beauty that sea turtles still nest there in significant numbers, making it one of the few beaches in Africa where you can witness the extraordinary spectacle of sea turtles nesting on a beach that looks almost entirely as it did before human beings arrived. Number 7. Faroe Islands, Denmark. The Faroe Islands sit in the North Atlantic between Norway and Iceland, 18 islands of dramatic volcanic rock and vivid green grass. Their cliffs rising hundreds of feet directly from the ocean in formations of such extraordinary scale and drama that they produce, in almost everyone who sees them for the first time, a quality of genuine awe. The Faroe Islands are not a tropical island destination. They are cold, frequently cloudy, often dramatically windy, but their particular beauty is of a kind that tropical islands cannot offer, a raw, powerful, elemental beauty that belongs specifically to the North Atlantic and to landscapes shaped by volcanic forces and centuries of wind and ocean. The cliffs of T are Lanipo, rising above Lake S or via GS via TN, a lake that appears, from certain angles, to float above the ocean due to a remarkable optical illusion created by the cliff's geometry, offer one of the most extraordinary landscape photographs available anywhere in the world. The village of Gossadler, a tiny community of a handful of houses, set in a valley above dramatic sea cliffs with a waterfall cascading directly over the edge into the ocean below, is one of the most extraordinarily positioned human settlements on Earth. And the bird life of the Faroe Islands, the puffins that nest in the cliff faces in extraordinary numbers, the gannets and fulmars that ride the Atlantic winds above the cliff tops, adds a dimension of natural richness to the landscape that makes the islands one of the great wildlife destinations of the North Atlantic. Number 6. Milos, Greece. Most visitors to the Greek islands go to Santorini or Mykonos, and both are genuinely beautiful. But Milos, a volcanic island in the southwestern Cyclades, offers something that neither of the more famous Greek islands can provide: a coastline of such extraordinary geological variety and beauty that it has been called the most beautiful island in the Mediterranean. Milos was formed by volcanic activity, and the result is a coastline of extraordinary geological drama, multicolored rock formations in shades of red and orange and white and gray, sea caves carved into the cliff faces by centuries of wave action, beaches of every color and texture from the famous white of Sarakiniko to the golden of Firiplaka, to the volcanic dark of Sigrado. Sarakiniko, the lunar beach, as it is known locally, is a landscape of such extraordinary and unusual beauty that it is one of the most photographed natural environments in Greece. The white volcanic rock that forms the beach and the cliffs surrounding it has been worn by wind and water into smooth, rounded formations of extraordinary sculptural quality, formations that glow almost luminously in the midday sun and turn extraordinary shades of gold and pink at sunset. The combination of this white rock, the vivid blue of the Aegean, and the complete absence of any vegetation creates a visual experience that is unlike anything else in the Greek islands, or, indeed, in the Mediterranean. Number 5. Palau, Micronesia. Palau is a small island nation in the western Pacific, and it is home to what is widely considered the most extraordinary marine environment accessible to recreational divers and snorkelers anywhere in the world. The waters around Palau contain some of the highest marine biodiversity on Earth, an extraordinary concentration of coral species, fish species, and large marine animals including sharks, manta rays, and sea turtles, in conditions of water clarity so extraordinary that visibility of 30 meters or more is common. The Blue Corner, a dive site on the edge of a submerged reef, where strong currents bring an extraordinary concentration of marine life, is considered by experienced divers to be one of the greatest dive sites on Earth. But Palau's most extraordinary and most distinctive natural feature is its Jellyfish Lake, a landlocked marine lake on one of the smaller islands, accessible by a short hike through the jungle, where millions of golden jellyfish have evolved over thousands of years, in conditions of complete isolation from ocean predators, losing their stinging cells in the process, and becoming completely harmless to human swimmers. Swimming through Jellyfish Lake, moving through millions of gently pulsing golden jellyfish in warm, clear water, in a silence broken only by the sound of your own breathing through a snorkel, is one of the most extraordinary and most completely unique natural experiences available anywhere in the world. Number 4. Lofoten Islands, Norway. The Lofoten Islands are an archipelago in northern Norway, above the Arctic Circle, and they represent one of the most dramatic and most extraordinary island landscapes available anywhere on Earth. The islands rise from the Norwegian Sea in peaks of extraordinary scale, mountains that appear to emerge directly from the water, their summits often wrapped in cloud or snow, their lower slopes dotted with the red and yellow wooden fishing cabins known as rorbur, that have been a feature of this landscape for centuries. In summer, the midnight sun keeps the sky light throughout the night, giving the landscape a quality of luminous, golden light that lasts for hours and produces some of the most extraordinary photographic conditions available anywhere in the world. In winter, the northern lights move across the sky above the snowy peaks in the dark water, and the combination of the lights in the fjords and the snow-covered mountains creates a visual experience of such extraordinary beauty that it has made the Lofoten Islands one of the most sought-after winter photography destinations on Earth. The beaches of Lofoten, white sand beaches with water of extraordinary clarity, that appears almost tropical in its color despite the Arctic location, are among the most visually surprising natural environments in Norway. Their improbable beauty amplified by the backdrop of dramatic mountain peaks rising directly behind them. Number 3. Fakarava, French Polynesia. Fakarava is an atoll in the Tuamotu archipelago of French Polynesia, a ring of coral and sand enclosing a lagoon of extraordinary size and beauty. Designated a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve for the extraordinary quality and diversity of its marine environment, the lagoon of Fakarava is one of the largest in French Polynesia, and its waters are of such extraordinary clarity, visibility of 30 to 40 meters is common, that the experience of snorkeling or diving in it is genuinely unlike anything available in more visited parts of the world. The southern pass of Fakarava, Tetamanu Pass, is one of the most extraordinary dive sites on Earth. Twice each day, as the tide changes, the currents through the pass carry an extraordinary concentration of marine life. Gray reef sharks gather in numbers of hundreds in the pass, along with schools of fish of extraordinary variety and density, creating an underwater environment of such overwhelming biological richness that experienced divers consistently describe it as one of the greatest natural spectacles they have ever witnessed. And above the water, Fakarava offers something equally extraordinary, a landscape of complete and absolute natural simplicity. Sand and coral and coconut palms, and lagoon and sky, in a combination of such pure and undisturbed natural beauty, that the simplicity itself becomes a kind of extraordinary. Number 2. Lakshadweep Islands, India. The Lakshadweep Islands are an archipelago of 36 islands and atolls in the Arabian Sea, off the southwestern coast of India, and they are among the least visited island destinations in the world. Despite containing beaches and lagoons that consistently rank among the most beautiful in Asia, the islands are formed entirely of coral, low, flat, fringed with coconut palms, their interiors covered in dense tropical vegetation, their shores of white coral sand meeting lagoons of such extraordinary turquoise color that the comparison with the Maldives is not just apt but striking. The Lakshadweep Islands look, in many places, almost identical to the Maldives, but with the extraordinary addition of being almost entirely unknown to international travelers. The coral reefs surrounding the Lakshadweep Islands are among the healthiest in the Indian Ocean, largely because the extremely limited tourist infrastructure has protected them from the damage that heavy tourism has inflicted on reefs in more visited destinations. The diving and snorkeling available around Bangaram Island and Agadi Island, with visibility of exceptional quality and coral of extraordinary health and variety, represents some of the most pristine marine experience available anywhere in the Indian Ocean. And the beaches, particularly the beaches of Bangaram Island, wide and white and completely undeveloped, lined with coconut palms and meeting a lagoon of extraordinary color, are genuinely among the most beautiful beaches in the world. And finally, number 1. Raja Ampat, Indonesia. Raja Ampat is an archipelago of over 1,500 islands, cays, and shoals in the Bird's Head Sea off the tip of the Bird's Head Peninsula of West Papua, Indonesia. It is, by the consensus of marine biologists, conservationists, and divers from every corner of the world, the most biologically diverse marine environment on Earth. The waters of Raja Ampat contain more species of coral, more species of fish, and more total marine biodiversity than any other marine environment on the planet. The concentration of biological richness so extraordinary that researchers studying it have described it as a place where evolution has been particularly generous. Above the water, Raja Ampat is equally extraordinary. The karst limestone islands, that rise from the sea in their thousands, some of them just a few meters of rock and vegetation, others substantial islands of dramatic topography, create a seascape of such extraordinary and varied beauty that no two views are ever quite the same. From the air, the combination of the green islands and the blue and turquoise sea creates a visual experience of such overwhelming beauty that it consistently renders experienced travelers speechless. From the water, the islands seem to float, their bases undercut by centuries of wave action, their vegetation hanging over the water, creating passages and coves and lagoons of extraordinary intimacy and beauty. The diving in Raja Ampat is simply the finest available anywhere on Earth. The biodiversity of the marine environment means that a single dive can encounter species of fish, coral, and marine invertebrates that cannot be found anywhere else in the world. The manta rays of Raja Ampat, which gather in cleaning stations where they can be approached to extraordinary closeness by divers and snorkelers, are among the most extraordinary wildlife encounters available to any traveler. And the Waigang sharks, the pygmy seahorses hidden in the sea fans, The walking sharks that move across the reef floor on their fins in a behavior found nowhere else on Earth. All of these represent a marine world of such extraordinary richness and strangeness that even experienced divers consistently describe Raja Ampat as the most extraordinary underwater environment they have ever encountered. These 10 islands, Socotra, Palawan, São Tomé and Príncipe, the Faroe Islands, Milos, Palau, the Lofoten Islands, Fakarava, the Lakshadweep Islands, and Raja Ampat, are 10 of the most extraordinary island destinations on Earth. Each one offers something completely different from the others. Each one offers something that the Maldives, for all its beauty, cannot offer. And each one is waiting, remote, extraordinary, and largely undiscovered, for the traveler willing to look past the famous names and follow their curiosity somewhere genuinely new. The most beautiful islands in the world are not always the most famous ones. They are the ones you find when you stop going where everyone else is going, and start going where the world is still extraordinary enough to take your breath away.